the devil awakens.
Maximus wrests his life from the underworld.
Hey boy, what in the world are you doing here?
He was elated with his escape.
I wanted out.
I set out now in a box upon the sea.
They lived in the colored section of town, as if the white pages map had been crayoned, little squares inside the lines, as if they too had been covered with color, something added to what was given, i.e. ourselves, who did not know, not even our teachers, that they were the given, that we were the altered, that we, who still were they, there was no difference yet, lost our color, slowly erased it as we moved north where a distant sun could not get through. And on we went, making roads and maps of rivers and roads, assuming we owned it if we could draw it and color it in and give it a name. And still we are drawing lines and calling them borders and coloring in and naming people who shall not, must not cross, who live in the colored sections of our white minds.
There are two Robert Johnsons. There's one that writes great poetry and is published by Ibbotson Press. And then there's the other Robert Johnson, the man who sold his soul to the devil so he could sing. Well, he got the better deal. The devil got Robert Johnson, but Robert Johnson got the music. Sometimes hell is worth it. Man with a devil on his tail. Red bones in town, tall, lanky, red bone, guitar and blues man. Devil's not far behind when red bones in town. 5-string guitar, fingers licking up. Some blues, he is a man gone wrong. Redbone brings on Saturday night. Throws some coins in his hat. He'll give a tune. Do it now. Not much time for Redbone. Devil's not far behind. Never look back unless you want to see the fire on your tail, says Redbone. Guitar man, long man, blues man, apricot or paperback brown. That's my man, Mr. Bones, giving us a tune for a nickel, a dime, a glass of lemonade, for a man with a devil on his tail. Now let me tell you, you think being good and reading the gospel and taking it seriously is what you should do. No, it isn't. Have fun. Heaven will put you to sleep.
And I started this manuscript in Taiwan. I was teaching Tai Chi to the nuns in Taiwan. And you talk about the different strands of my work, and sometimes some people wonder, what is he doing, where is he going? But when I was in the factory, to make sense of all the contradictions in my life, I began to read the Tao Te Ching and by Lao Tzu, and I was doing Tai Chi, and I read it in a naive way because you read that book your entire life. And so I began to accept the contradictions and hoping and believing that one day they would gel, right? And so this collection is a weaving together of recovery from an abusive childhood with nature and Taoist ideas of the body as a microcosm of the external world, which is the macrocosm, which is not just Chinese, it's also Greco-Roman, as you may know. All things come from one place. Leaves. The lines that make you are infinite, but I count them every day to hear the stories you carry. These are not secrets but records, things we should know but ignore. If I commit the sin of tearing you from the tree, I find another world inside the torn vein, another lifetime of counting the records of who walked here before, of what lovers lay here holding each other through wars and starvation. Some days I stand here until I lose focus and travel, drifting off out of the moment, too full of it, and my legs are now like trees, mindless but vigilant, held into the earth by the rules of debt, what we owe to nature for trying to tear ourselves away. I drift and the pleasure of touch comes again, layers of green in the mountainside, a tickling in my palms. The pleasure is that of being lost here in the crowd of trunks and pulp, the ground thick with the death of you, sinking under my feet as I go, touching one and another, linking myself through until the place where I entered is gone. When I am afraid, my breath is caught in my throat. When I am not afraid, I lift both hands up under a bunch of you to find the way the world felt on the first day.